Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Prospects and Show 101. My name is Chris, and today I'm joined by,
Braden.
and we're going to be watching some Devin White tape with you guys. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, the first time I really watched Devin White tape, I really wasn't a huge fan of his. I watched it a couple times already. Um, have you ever watched him yet, Braden?
No,
Oh, okay, cool. So you're actually going to need this fresh. Awesome. But
I've heard
yes.
good things.
Cool.
I've,
Okay. So yeah, he is a third-year junior linebacker from Louisiana State, also known more commonly as LSU. Officially came into the combine at 6 foot 237, 9 3/4 inch hands, and 32 and an eighth inch arms. So as far as size goes, do you have any concerns?
not really.
Awesome. So he actually slimmed down quite a bit. At least in high school, he was around 260. So he's since, well, within the last 3 years, that is a long time. He has lost about 25-ish pounds, roughly, depending on what exactly he's measuring at, in his freshman year. So that's something interesting to note. And you can tell kind of on tape earlier on that he did look a little bit slow changing directions, but he had a fantastic combine. Him and both him and Devin Bush really blew the test out of the water for linebackers. Had mid-9 RASs. So, what are your thoughts? Do you see any of the linebackers at the combine?
Not really. Honestly, I kind of slept through it that day.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, he had a really nice combine. To me, at least, he looked like he's changed direction fairly more fluid than I thought. And we'll get to show off a lot of the things that we may or may not have seen at the combine on tape. Also, for those of you guys who are Lions fans that have followed the channel through that avenue, I'm writing for Detroit Lions podcast now, and I just finished an article on him. So I don't know which is going to get published first. I'm guessing it's going to be this. So when that gets up, check my Twitter or their website, and you guys will get to see a written version and a summary of all this for those of you guys that are interested in the Lions aspect of this. But since you're here, I also kind of want to talk about the Denver side of this. He's been one of the players that's been mentioned for the Broncos lately,
hmm
especially with the whole Flacco trade kind of deal. Maybe we don't take a quarterback, people. So, what are your thoughts on the potential of going with the
Well,
linebacker
first
at
off,
10?
with the quarterback at the day before we traded for Joe Flacco, our offensive coordinator said that Case Keenum is our quarterback, and at the combine, Elway said that he wanted Keenum back, and first chance he got him, he sent him to Washington, halfway across the country. So don't believe anything that's said about us in a quarterback. But I will say that I think that if Devin White falls to number 10, that he would definitely be a candidate. Because him, I know he's an athletic linebacker, could go sideline to sideline. Him with Fangio would be fun to see and his fun to watch and to see whether Fangio can develop him or not. Because if Fangio can't develop him, then really no one can.
And yeah, we got to see some of his work with the young linebacker last year when they took Roquan Smith at 8. So it would be interesting to see him change teams and then add, arguably to some, the top linebacker in this year's class after adding Roquan last year.
I don't think he falls to us at 10. No, I don't think he'll get to us.
We'll
I don't
see.
think.
I have my own opinions now on what I think about the Lions fit, but it's also possible he could be gone at 5 to Tampa.
Yeah,
So we'll see. And of course, Denver could always, like you mentioned, go quarterback and everything like that. Um, so yeah, this is going to be a very interesting kind of wild card in some way, guy to watch. So also, I did want to say props to Mark Jarvis for the database. These are his grades, not mine. all that good stuff. So huge shout out to him. You can follow him on Twitter. Cool. So which game would you like to start with? I recommend Louisiana Tech to
Sure,
start, and then going into the others.
that's fine. I already know the other two games I want to watch, so I think. But yeah, we'll start with Louisiana Tech.
Coolio. I showed them to you before we started.
What?
The other two games we're watching.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I was supposed to show them to you. So, you guys are gonna see them now, I guess. Crap, I just exited out.
That's tough.
Oh well, I'll just open it again here. Because I want your opinion on this too, because I've already seen these. So, I want to see if you're seeing the same things that I am. I'll just scroll to the bottom real quick so I can kind of... Whoops. That was my unofficial grade, by the way. Oh, Auburn, Georgia, and Louisiana Tech.
Cool.
So, yeah, back to this. Okay, whoops, let me get that out of the way. He is number 40.
40.
He'll almost always be in the middle. That was interesting.
Greedy Williams giving up a catch.
At least it was contested. But I'm looking at
Yeah, he
this.
He went the complete opposite way. Look, he went the opposite way and then just got. Luckily, the quarterback read that wrong, but that should have been a reception on him.
So one thing I'm going to point out, and I don't know if this bugs you as much as it might me or someone else, but watch how Devin White finishes this play. Do you have an issue with him jogging like that?
I mean, yeah. But at the same time, I can kind of see it because at that point it's pretty obvious he's gonna throw it away. So there's no real point to. We'll see if it becomes a trend, But if it's just one time, I can live with it. If it's just a one-time deal.
So this is one of White's, but I'm going to keep saying Devin, but obviously this whole video we're talking about Devin White specifically. This is White's one of his biggest positives from what I found, and is his ability to slip through blocks. Now he doesn't always do this, and he has struggles with slipping through blocks in the run game. He's more of a shedder in the run game, but in terms of pass rushing, he does this quite a bit, and he just completely split that double team using his athletic ability. That's honestly why I like him more as a pass rusher than I do a run blocker. And you see why right there. Just got completely flattened by 61. Yeah. And again, this is Louisiana Tech too. So keep in mind, this isn't like Georgia, who we're going to see in a minute, offensive line. This is a non-power 5.
Yeah, Mike, this isn't like Alabama or something. He was a little late. Okay.
Want me to replay that?
Yeah. From early what I've seen, it seems like he's more reacting to the play than reading.
Yep.
Reading it, which kind of pisses me off.
That was my biggest negative on my report too.
Yeah, he seems to be reacting rather. Like there, it's like when he tries to read it, he goes like too far the opposite way.
I like his patience on this play. Kind of simple to talk about, but I do really like how he was disciplined in the zone.
Yeah, it's like he's in the middle of the zone. There's sometimes it's better to be simple and not do a lot than try and do too much and get caught.
You mean like he does here?
No, I meant on. Oh,
I was transitioning into this play.
okay.
Because you see exactly what you just saw happen. He tries to do a little too much and he gets caught right here. He attacks this, fails to see this, and the running back just explodes.
Okay. I thought you meant the last play. I was like, huh? I was confused for a second. The Skype was a bit slow loading, so it was on the last play for me.
Ah. And then you see him, and this is part of the inconsistency thing. And this is kind of why I've learned to be a little bit more loose on him since the combine. Because it doesn't really seem to be as much of an athletic issue as it was to me at first. And that's just him. He seems to know how to read the play on occasion. So I do like the motor on that play. I don't know if that was a touchdown or not, but if it
Yep.
was, oh, they maybe did call it a touchdown. So tons to think about on this particular play. Is there anything that you want to say about it first before I start?
Um, I wish he would have read that. If he read that where the quarterback was going, that's a pick six. So if he reads this play instead of reacts to it, this is a pick six instead of just an interception.
So one thing I'm gonna
Like right here, I mean, to be fair, he kind of. Yeah.
at,
Okay.
at
Fair.
this point in the play, that's what I was gonna start with. At this point in the play, it looks like he's kind of taking away the back defender or the back
Yeah.
receiver, and then he does a really nice shot, and you see him shuffle over too, which is what convinces me of that, and recognizing the receiver behind him. And then
Okay.
he tries to adjust, and
Hits
using
it.
yep, and he does a really nice job of using the hand to knock that up to try and get the interception.
Okay. Never mind. Okay. Disregard what I said. That was a good play.
So this is something that intrigued me when watching him, and it's something that I think goes a little bit unnoticed by the common draft community, is look at how he's lined up. For the most part, you would kind of expect him to be basically lined up in what amounts to an A. But on this particular play, and we see this a couple more times too, he's almost lined up as a joker. And he ends up becoming a pass rusher on this play on the offensive tackle. So what this does is it allows White to use his bend, I guess, uh, and get around the edge as a pass rusher. So if he can develop his pass rushing moves, his spin, counter, rip, bull, all that stuff, you can almost use him as a pass rushing edge. And that would take a little bit out of him having to read the play in the middle of the field. And also, it gives your defense a little bit more versatility. So for the Lions, if we're lined up in a dime set, for example, with Jared at the mic, we'd still be able to use Devin on the line as a pass rusher, which only adds to the amount of things that you're going to be able to do with him, which is going to increase his appeal to some teams.
That was actually a really good throw.
So one thing that I'm going to talk about here, and if you ever want to say something, just let me know. But one thing that I'm going to say is obviously it's 38 and everybody is at the line, including White, who keeps the guy in front of him and takes away that option. So just very nice play.
Nice.
Nope, we're not going to show a replay. So, as you mentioned, just a really nice play. But what I really like here is how he changes from moving inside out. So we almost kind of do get to see a little bit of his change of direction here. And we see him kind of bite on this play fake at first, but he quickly recovers and he's able to get outside and get his hands on the ball. So not really the best at reading the play action, but he adjusts so quickly in time.
Nice block shed there. Nice wrap. Nice tackle. No, that wasn't him. Shit.
No, you're right.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
Good lord, I'm having a shocker.
Yeah, he kind of gets moved back. Unfortunately, his anchor against the run isn't really all that great. But as you mentioned, he does a really nice job shedding, and then gets his hands around him and basically throws him down. Boom. And again, I love how I'm able to rewind so many of these plays because there's just so much going on with this game. On this play, you get to see, again, that A-gap rush. And that was honestly a really nice job by the defensive lineman to kind of open up that gap for him. And he did a really nice job of shooting that gap and forcing the running back to adjust his rushing path. That's probably the first play that we haven't had to rewatch in a while. So one thing I'm going to point out here about this particular play is the pursuit angle here isn't exactly all that great. You see it that's actually perfect frame. He kind of originally wants to take this inside lane underneath the slot, but he ends up having to go around, and that's why he's not able to make the play. He has to rely on 6. But on that play, excellent. So
Can you rewind it, skip for me? I didn't see it. Excellent.
he just does a really nice job of reading the pitch. And boom, same thing. And he gets his hand up too to deflect the pass. So
You can see the athleticism and speed, really, that he showed off at the combine.
oh, for sure. Yeah. And that's probably the biggest consistent thing that you're getting. It's, well, we don't know always because he could have a 25-year career, hypothetically, but it's going to be there for him for the next, at least first contract. And his ability to rush straight line downhill is probably some of the best I've seen in 10 years. Oh, what was that tackle from Greedy, I think? Nope, 22. It wasn't Greedy. So this is one area of his game that we'll probably keep coming back to over and over and over again because it is his biggest outlying weakness, and that is reading the blocks in the play. So I'm going to point out now that White was a running back 3 years ago. He just switched his sophomore season, and he's still kind of learning reading offensive plays from the defensive side, and you see that very, very, very often. And this is another one of those plays, we've already shown a couple of them, where he kind of gets stuck in this area over here, and he leaves this gap wide open for the running back. Now, fortunately, he was able to close it enough to slow him down in that particular instance, but you could have done so much better there. Same thing, again, as a jack off the edge, and nice playing short yardage. You got to see some of the explosiveness downhill. So this is actually a really, really good play on White's part because what he's doing here is positioning himself between these two receivers. So you get to see him, actually that's pretty close to halfway. That's about 4 yards away, straight line each. So what this does, and of course you have 5 and whoever that is too, but it allows him, once 5 kills that gap, and he ends up sealing that difference nicely. It forces the quarterback to run, and once he gets past the line of scrimmage, White immediately comes up knowing he can't throw that ball away, and forces a quick slide.
Also, good job not killing him. Not getting a penalty. He read that stupidly late and missed the tackle. That's musty.
Yeah, and mostly because he read that late is why he missed the tackle, and that's another thing that you're going to see pretty consistent. Is when he fails to make these easy reads. Well, I don't know how easy that was, but when he fails to make these reads, that's when he's going to miss his tackles because he kind of got moved out of the way too, which hurt his pursuit angle a little bit. And that didn't help either. And the same thing, just completely misdiagnoses this run because he's trying to stay in the gap, and he loses the running back behind the line, so he's not able to get in and make the play. Another pass rush rep. He lines up as a pass rusher a lot more than you might expect for him as a linebacker.
That was a good read right there. Can you go back the play before? Not the run play, but the one before that. I really love how he sits over the middle, and then once he kind of knows that he's able to just, and then once he knows he's able to go down to the receiver, he goes down with it and then forces a throwaway.
And again, just a straight line downhill speed.
I mean, this is the 4-2, no 4-4 that he ran.
Yep, 4-4-3, I think it was.
4-4-2, I think. This quarterback actually doesn't look like completely terrible, honestly. For Louisiana Tech, he's made some decent plays.
Where was he on this play?
Left
It's right
side.
here. Oh, he went on 4. Okay, that was a really nice defensive play.
Yeah.
That's the second time that they've thrown that same exact screen and he's inside. And that's when, being patient, of course, it was 3rd and 2, so that probably is the one instance you would like to see him be more aggressive in attacking the hole. But the patience, if he could do that more often on, say, 1st and 10, and let the back come to him a little bit more frequently. A nice tackle, though. That was a nice read. Same thing.
Nice tackle.
So what I really like here is we talked earlier about how he slips blocks in the passing game. He doesn't do it as much in the run game, but using his athleticism here, he can, and he just does a really nice job of slipping the block and making the offensive lineman miss. He has a higher tendency to do that in goal line situations too, which is kind of interesting. Got it.
So, That was an interesting throw.
Throwaway, it looked like.
Hmm.
Nice coverage by Delpit. So this is interesting because what you're going to see here is he thinks that the quarterback is running, but the receiver slips in behind him on 3rd and 10. I wonder what would have happened if he stayed with the receiver and then came up. He's a little bit too aggressive sometimes when it comes to QBs escaping the pocket. It's probably the 3rd time now that we've seen him whiff on a screen. Nice tackle. That was a nice play. Tried to bait him. There's coverage by 6. That was a whiff throw. And yeah, that's the kind of situation where you can see, again, Devin White here lined up a Joker, kind of, or at least outside the Joker. And he just does a really nice job of getting pressure, kind of, as the 5th rusher. He got lucky that they didn't hand this off, because if they did, this running back would have taken that wide open hole that he had just left. So quick downhill. It's an explosive burst. Dang, that was a nice touchdown. So one thing that doesn't really get a lot of talk with White is his man coverage is actually pretty underrated. I really like here how he covers this wheel route, and he has the speed to be able to cover running backs. He just does a really nice job of taking away the running back as an option, and unfortunately, none of his 4 defenders, including Greedy Williams, are able to take away that area there. And same thing there. He just does a really nice job. Greedy brings the pressure, almost gets the quarterback sack. And White in just very nice position there in coverage.
When he does read the play, he's awesome. It's just the issue is he doesn't read the play as much as I like.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's just a lack of football IQ or if he's just new to the position and it'll get better over time.
My personal theory is that it's kind of a little bit of both. And it's interesting because he was really good on the whiteboard. So it's not like a lack of understanding of scheme or a lack of understanding of assignment. It's more of a lack of reaction and his ability to process things on the field in speed, and his ability and his lack of experience to not exactly know what's going to happen. So it's not so much lack of football knowledge and IQ, it's a combination of lack of experience and his mental processing in time.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it will eventually get a bit, even if it's not ginormous, get better over time?
I think it, well, thinking about this positively, I hope for him that it gets better. Now, obviously, there's no guarantee that happens, and of course, coaching is going to play a big part in that too. If he goes to a scheme like, say, Denver, where he's going to have to be a leader in the defense, and at least in the middle of the defense, because you have your edges, it might be a little bit more complicated for him at the start, but it might be better for him being a leader and a communicator and learning everything on the defense. But if he goes to a team like Detroit, where he is not going to be the middle linebacker, and he will be a occasional rusher, occasional Sam type guy, he's going to have to learn a lot more roles, but he's going to be a lot more specific in his assignments. So it kind of depends on what exactly each individual team wants to do with him, and how those teams will find a way to cover the weaknesses that he has. None of which are short yardage. He's a very good short yardage linebacker. Now keep in mind that only before we show the sack, keep in mind that only 2 running backs ran sub 4.49. I think Mike Weber and Daryl Henderson were the only 2 guys that ran. Do you remember that for sure?
Justice Hill was 4.4 flat, so 2 or 3. He ran faster than all of them. Actually, you know what? Give me like 20 seconds. I'll pull up the combine numbers.
Also, shameless plug, go follow us on Twitter.
1, 2, 3.
At ProCentral101. I'll remind you guys that at the end of the video.
There's a few that ran sub, but let's say sub 4.45. There's 1, 2.
At running back?
Yeah. 2 that ran faster than ran 4.45 or faster. 2 of them.
Henderson and Hill?
It was Justice Hill and Raquel Armstead.
Oh, yeah, the Temple kid. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I forgot about him for a minute. Henderson's mostly coming slow, because I thought he had like a 4.38 or something unofficial. So he must have slowed down his first.
And then Devin White ran so he would have been the second fastest running back at the combine. Alrighty, continue.
So actually, let's just go back and you'll kind of see. Now, he doesn't really do this very often, which is kind of my biggest issue with his pass rushing, and why I deducted points from his pass rushing grade, is you don't really see him change moves that often. So what's going to happen here is he's going to get stuck at the line on the guard, I want to say. And then on this particular play, he does a nice job of finishing out and motoring through. He doesn't always necessarily do that, but when he is able to finish plays, that's a really nice sack.
So, I also love him trying to get that ball out too.
He's done that a few times. Nice zone. Really patient.
Yeah, when I'm coaching defense for my job, I always put an emphasis on trying to get the football out. So I love it when I see defenders try and get that ball out.
So that was the first game of Devin White. Thoughts on that?
It was a bit inconsistent, but the good parts were really good, and the bad parts were I wouldn't say really bad, but were not good. It's just when he was able to read a play and get there, he looked like a top like 5 pick. But when he doesn't, it's like he looked like a day 2 player. So it's like you he I want to see him read the play more in these next 2 games than react. That's my main issue at this point with him.
Cool. Auburn.
You're Did you cry? No.
Auburn is actually very interesting because I watched a lot of guys against them this year. I don't know if you've been running into that.
Huh?
It seems like almost every single guy I've watched from the SEC has played Auburn.
Yeah.
Like Ole Miss, LSU,
Bama,
Alabama. Like every single guy
Georgia.
has Auburn tape. Nice sack and shed. Good tackle too.
Shout out Jared Stidham, round 3 pay for the Broncos if we don't go QB at 10.
Nice pick by Delpit. Who might be my #1 player next year, depending on what I think of Tua.
When we get a break in the action, I'm going to say something that is going to get me crucified.
Okay.
Tua is basic. Tua is a black Tim Tebow. Like he's not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for next year though.
He still has the year of tape. I haven't
Mhm.
watched a single snap of his on tape yet.
Yeah.
So, again, one thing about Devin White, he'll get stuck in the blocks as a pass rusher. Of course, he was double teamed, but he's not pure pass rusher enough to be able to split those all the time. That was interesting. And they got 3 for the flag.
Yeah.
Same thing there. He kind of just got loaded.
Great throw.
Pursuit angle messed up. He overran the play.
That's another problem I've seen with him is his pursuit angles.
And you see the false step here.
Mhm.
While he's starting to move out, he's starting to move in. Makes him a step late, and someone else has to make the play. But then he does something like that. And on 3rd
Yeah.
and 1, gets a nice tackle for the loss. If I remember right, he makes this play too. Yeah.
Jeez.
And he was all over that. Just finds the nice gap, seals it, slips right
Suplexes
through.
him.
Same thing there. Unfortunately, he took the wrong one, but
Stidham should have kept that.
I like how he gets his hands up. What a throw.
Oh.
That was a nice play on his part. Took away the gap, forced the running back to run elsewhere. There we go. Unfortunately, wasn't quick enough with starting the block, but it's still, nonetheless, very good play. Nice job of getting off the block. And again, you'll see this every once in a while from him. This kind of doesn't really finish this play. Seems jogging a little bit out.
It's not Greedy. I'm not concerned with it like Greedy Williams, though.
Oh, he got blown by 70.
And he lost the football. Oh, no, he was down.
Nice coverage by 5. Oh, they flagged that. That was stupid. That could have been a hold, honestly. The way he pulls him like that.
Yeah, that's a bit of a
Right
flag.
There. That probably could have been a flag. I don't really blame him entirely for that.
Yeah, I know. Tough.
By the way, I don't know if you saw that, but he somehow ended up catching this.
Yeah.
I have no clue how. There's like 5 LSU defenders around it. Oh, what a move.
Alright. Yeah. That catch on that third down, that's just a bruh moment on the defense.
Nice coverage. 22, Bolton. He's in this class too, I think. Either that or next year. Boom.
Ooh.
So,
What went wrong here?
this is why originally, when I first watched this game, I thought that he was slow moving side to side. Watch how he starts this play off. I'm actually, you know what, I'm going to slow this down so you can kind of see the movement. And pay attention to the way that he moves. Do you see that?
He kind of like galloped.
He almost like shuffled, but I don't know if it was like his footwork was weird or
It's like he was doing the electric slide or some shit.
but yeah, that looks like it might be a footwork issue. Either that or there's some issue with reading the play. But yeah, that movement with his lower body here is very, very awkward. And right here, like when the running back's all the way out already, is when you finally start to see him run straight line. So it's not that he doesn't necessarily, and this is what I had an issue with when I first watched him, is that's not necessarily his lack of ability to move side to side. That's just him either misreading that play or footwork.
Which causes him to miss the tackle.
Exactly.
Because he showed up too
Epically.
late.
Yes, he epically whipped on that tackle. So that's why, for those of you guys who've been following me on Twitter, and that's how you're coming to this, who have known me hating on Devin White for forever, have seen me hating on his movement skills. And that's why I'm kind of waited to do this until after the combine. Because he's shown that he can move side to side. It's just that plays like that, it's like, why can't you get all the way out to the sideline? And what was really weird is he started out in the middle of the field. So it's not like he's even being asked to cover like 3/4 of the field. He was only responsible for like that half of the field. I don't know. And then he goes and makes a play like that.
Tough. We need to stop the press. We need to call the police. Greedy Williams made a tackle.
Did he?
Yeah, on that last play. Well, at least he was there.
Well, he was there. I don't think he actually tackled him. See, he stopped.
Okay, never mind. We're okay. Status quo.
This play he did, though. I think. Oh, that was 26. Boom. See this first step, and you'll see this all the time. Look at the first step. Boom. once he wrecks the play, he just gets off. Same thing, just completely. And this is again why I thought he might have been slow from side to side, because he's starting at the left hash, and then he doesn't even get to the middle of the field, let alone the gap over here. So my original thinking was that he was slow. That's just not the case. And that's just a complete misdiagnosis on his part. Because you see him start in this gap. I mean, to be fair, this guy did not exactly do his job either, so he's kind of having to overcompensate.
And at the same time, he kind of exactly cuts him off. So that's kind of. I'm not saying greedy, not greedy. I'm used to shitting on greedy, so just popped out. I wasn't saying on that play that Devin White wasn't like he deserved criticism, but at the same time, the other guy messed up too because and kind of cut him off.
What the crap happened there?
Um,
What?
I'm willing to bet like 20, not really, but $20 that one of those defenders was number 29.
No, it wasn't, because Greaves the guy that made the tackle at the end of the play.
Oh
Greaves, this
dear.
guy way over here that's doubling this guy. See?
Oh yeah.
Nice play by Stidham. That should have been a touchdown. Nice play by Greg
Doubt it.
Delpit twice in a row. He was the guy that made the saving tackle on Stidham too. Nice coverage by Greedy Williams. Right here. And you see that a bit too often. Now, of course, it didn't end up biting him here. But we've already talked about this a few times. And right here, he's a little over aggressive in pursuing Stidham out of the pocket. And it almost leaves his guy wide open on a 3rd and 9 for what would have been a first down. That was a nice block shed and tackle.
That looked like that hurt.
Boom. And of course, he misses
Oh,
the tackle. But the explosion downhill is incredible. Boom. And he overruns it a little bit too much to make the tackle, but he slows him down enough for the tackle for loss. Nice pick by Greedy. Who gets hammered? Not gonna say anything about that.
a broken clock is right twice a day.
You're gonna have to do the Greedy breakdown with me when we do that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that.
Nice tackle by White. That's the 4th time that we've seen him cut inside on a receiver screen. That was interesting. So here he starts out going toward
The right way.
left gap, and then he cuts back inside.
For no reason.
I mean, his guys had him. That's a nice play by Rashad Lawrence. Now you come up and make the hit, or not. Boom. This time he helps bring him down. Same thing, just so flashy downhill. Nice tackle by Delpit. And there you get to see a little bit of the bend, especially at the end of this play. Right here, boom. And then you kind of see him dip under. And then the finish with the bend. It's actually quite impressive for a Sam or Will. I think they actually got him for a hold on that too because of that. But then, the next play, you see him cut a little bit too far out. Can't get back in. I love his patience. Good coverage by Greedy. But still, I really like what he did here. He let that guy move over, and he took the underneath. In his zone, that's just really good zone coverage by Devin White. Boom. Oh, he got tackled. That could have been a hold. Of course, it wouldn't have mattered because he would have not been able to finish. Nice patience, missed the tackle though. Not a terrible block shed. Same thing here. This is actually quite a rarity for him. I really like how he transitions this from zone. You see him starting to cover that area. Right here, he transitions this to man and takes the tight or the running back. That's a really nice play by Devin White in coverage. So, thoughts on the second game?
It's kind of similar. It's just we saw a bit more of the over aggressiveness and misreading than the Louisiana Tech game. But this dude has ridiculous like athleticism and downhill. You know how with how fast he runs, I'm confused why they moved him from running back.
Because they had Leonard Fournette and Darius Geis.
Understandable. But yeah, he probably could have come out as a running back this year if he played if he was able to get reps with how athletic he is.
And also size played a factor too, because remember he came out, as a recruit, he was projected 6'1", 260.
Oh.
Which is a little heavy for a typical running back.
Yeah.
Cool. So anything else?
Nope.
Sweet.
I'm good.
I did click on Georgia, right?
How could you fail to respect it?
Okay. Matthew Stafford's Florida team. Also AJ Green. Also Michelle Marine. Dang, do all of us have players from Georgia?
Okay, so you have AJ Green, Moreno.
Cleveland? What Cleveland player played for Georgia?
Chubb. Nick Chubb.
Okay, yeah. Now just need one for Houston.
I shall return 1 second. Let me go pull up the roster.
We all know they're going to trade Deshaun Watson for Jacob Fromm.
Oh
At
dear.
Carson.
They have. They have one. I'm just seeing if there's like one with more notable name. Good lord, they have like 7 Clemson players on their roster.
No wonder Carson likes them a lot.
They have Davin Bellamy. He's a rookie outside linebacker from Georgia.
Edge rusher. Yeah, he was pretty good last year.
So yeah, they have a Georgia player. Well, actually, no. Are we talking current or past 2?
Well, all-time counts, because Marino doesn't exactly fit for you guys anymore.
Well, if we're going to go all-time, we're going to go with Terrell Davis.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's when you said all-time. I'm like, okay, no offense, no Sean Moreno. We're going to go with a Hall of Famer.
I was just
Terrell
thinking of
Davis.
guys that I had watched, like, since 2008.
Yeah, Terrell Davis went to Georgia. Alrighty. That was random. Let's get into the tape.
Oh, man. That was an insane first step. Boom, look at the bend. Of course he overran it.
That's another issue I've seen is overrunning.
But, like, look how he bends around the corner to fit in that hole. And he just over-pursues the play. Forces the pressure, though. But yeah, like right there, you see, it's not a ton, but he still had quite a bit of bend to slip through the hole. Nice counter at the end. Just overthrow. Boom, he got completely annihilated on that play. Missed the tackle again.
Got blocked out of the play.
It's coming back in. His angle wasn't exactly great, but nice cut block to take him out. It happens to Bush all the time, too. Nice shot on that play. Like the patience in Spy. Downhill attack. Oh, nope. A little too patient. The other thing, and this doesn't really necessarily bother me as much because he isn't a middle linebacker on these plays, but like, look at what he does here. I mean, well, at least it looks like he's a middle linebacker on these plays. But like, it just seems kind of weird that he's literally running like right into this huge pile of guys. Like, there were like 4 offensive linemen right in front of him, and he just ran straight ahead into them. Nice shit there. His block shedding is fairly decent. Nice bend around the edge again. Nice coverage. Getting nice coverage. Nice move. Is that a swim?
Hmm. Yeah.
Boom, just gets right over the top of him. Forces the pressure. And of course, there ends up a completion, but Delphi's right there. Very nice. Nice shadow slipping the block. Nice adjustment on that play. And I really like here how the running back kind of starts this out here. Sees Devin, but he immediately cuts back out with the running back. I think I should have following him there. Great coverage all around. Nice shed. Seem to be seeing there a lot this game. Nice. Oof. Oh, cool. Okay, so we're gonna see Devin here. Oh, okay. So he's the guy that originally takes him. And just really solid zone to man transition on this play. Starts out in the zone and then transitions to man and follows him up on the wheel. It's a nice play by White. Nice hit. Oh, what a hit. Was that Grant? Probably was. Nice tackle. Over here. Again, nice shedding tackle. What were you saying?
I was just saying nice tackle as well.
Same thing. Ooh, okay. A little bit of a zone issue there. Didn't transition to man to finish the play out. Right here, he's kind of caught jogging a little bit. And leaves Ridley wide open on 2nd and 8. Nice gap rack. Nice pass deflection by Greedy Williams. Top of the screen, Joker. Transitions the zone to man. Nice. And then the blitz.
Oh, I got tripped.
Oh, Grant almost had that pick. Out here on the outside. Nice coverage. And see, this time we get to see him again do a really nice job of reading this play and getting out with that nice first step outside, but then he just
overruns it.
Yep. That looked more like a pursuit angle issue than actual going too fast. But he tends to lose control a little bit. That looked like pretty decent coverage. I don't know exactly. Oh, did he not turn his head?
Mm.
Or was he just not in position? Because he does everything right here. He does a really nice job enforcing the boundary. He has a really nice job at the
I
start.
think he did. I think he didn't turn his head around, so the receiver kind of like sort of swam back to the ball, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Nonetheless, it's pretty good coverage. Oh man, Greedy almost got big over the top by someone 2 tons slower than him. He did that time. Oh, it wasn't.
And he got a penalty. No, that wasn't him.
Though.
I don't think.
Nice tackle by Delpit.
Nice tackle. We already did a Greedy Williams this video this year.
Using last year's tape.
True.
So one thing you will see, he gets taken by the center here, 66, and he gets moved from the 20 to at least the 15. I would argue even the 10. Of course, by that point, there are going a few more people. But his anchor in the run game isn't exactly all that great. He's more of a shugger than an occupier as a run defender. Was that him that made the tackle? It looked like it was. It was. That's a great play by Devin White. Same thing. Beautiful read. Another excellent read. Sets him up for the tackle. Oh my gosh, Gree actually forced him out.
He pushed him out of bounds.
Oh, he overran it. That's why. That's a nice comeback by Ridley. Nice. Nice bend. Good around the edge. Easy interception for Greedy.
And he didn't get it. It was the other guy.
Cool. So, would you like to watch the fourth game that I haven't seen yet, or?
I'm alright.
Okay, cool. So, what did you think of Devin White? All 3 games.
Athletically, he's a monster athletically. When he's able to read the play and stuff, he one second. Alrighty. When he reads the play, he absolutely makes it 99 times out of 100. But the issue is, a lot of the times he either misreads a play, overruns it, or has a poor pursuit angle. So it's like I don't know whether it's like poor processing mentally or it's just he needs more experience. But if he can learn to read a defense better, he'll be an absolute monster in the middle of the defense.
Offense.
In the middle of the defense.
You said read the offense better. I mean, you said read the defense better.
Oh, I meant if he. Okay, thank you.
So yeah, um, you know what this situation almost kind of reminds me of in some ways
Who?
is Saquon Barkley, except the
Hmm.
opposite side. With Saquon, I had a really big issue last year with his inability to read defensive plays and not really see where pressure was coming from, whether that be in pass pro or like in terms of vision and finding lanes. And I feel like Devin White is kind of in that same boat on defense. He just doesn't really exactly feel where running backs are going to go yet. And in Saquon's case, he was able to adjust, hit that first year with the Giants and with Shermer. I'm sure was a huge help, and ended up just coming out and looking huge as a rookie. And I wonder if Devin White, again, you mentioned with Fangio, and having that kind of mentor there in the coaching department, if he can kind of make that quicker adjustment and fix those areas year one, because when he does, he has all the athletic tools that you want.
Yeah.
So that kind of interests me a little bit about this too. Um, so one thing I'm also going to say about Devin White, minor, is he's productive. He doesn't have really any injury concerns, and he did have a character blip in high school, relatively minor, I guess.
He had two in like the span of like a month.
Yeah, like one of them was like a traffic incident or something, and the other one was a some kind of a sexual
The
thing.
first one was is 16. He had sex with a 14-year-old, and I guess the age of consent in Louisiana is 16, so he can't do it with anyone younger.
Yeah,
And the second one is he fled from like the police or something
after a
in high
ticket.
school. Yeah, or something. But ever since the first one is kind of stupid. But yeah, no. Ever since then, he hasn't had anything in LSU because both of those happened in high school, and we haven't heard anything from LSU. So I wouldn't be too overly concerned with that.
Yep. But yeah, I was reading a Dave Burkett article from Fleet, and apparently he did really well on whiteboards, at least in Detroit's meeting. And it sounded like he did well in every other meeting also. So that's good for him. He had pretty good meetings there. And he was also one of the guys that there was a national reporter that gave like the 5 or so whatever best combine interviews, and he was on that list also.
Who's the other four, if you know?
I'd have to go back and look.
Hmm.
I'll see if I can
Okay.
find it again after we're done recording this.
Okay.
But yeah, he apparently had really nice interviews in Indianapolis, so it'll be very interesting to see where he ends up. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, I'm alright.
Cool. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was pretty interesting for me to do because I kind of got to review tape, which I don't really do a lot on this channel. Most of the time I watch tape for the first time. So I tried to let Brain talk a little bit. I don't think I did good enough in that area though. So sorry about that. Um, but yeah, hope you guys liked this one. Learned a thing or two. If you guys are Lions fans, go check out my article on Lions site, DLP, Detroit Lions Podcast. That'll be going up very soon, hopefully. And yeah, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the channel for more like this, and hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. But for now, peace out.